Hey everybody, Dawn here from Drago. Today I'm showing you how to draw something really cool, and that's right, because you looked at the title, it's how to draw Baby Link. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be giving you cool and easy ways on how to use references, how to draw the baby chibi eyes. I know a lot of people have trouble drawing that, as well as the coloring. So many people have asked me if I could show them how to color. And in this case, I'm going to be showing you a very basic way of coloring, which is just flats and the shadows and maybe a little bit of highlights. But most of all, I'm going to be giving you cool tips on how to shade and highlight the eyes, because a lot of people have a lot of trouble coloring the eyes like in that traditional anime way. So now that I've told you that, give you an adequate introduction, let's go to my workstation and I'll show you how to do it. Alright guys, to get started, let's first pop open Google to get a reference of Link. Okay, let's type in Link. Images. And here, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of pictures of Link. Now the type of reference we're looking for is something that is simple and shows most of Link's character traits. Of course, it's the hat and the hair and the clothing. So I'm gonna go with something like the Wind Waker Link, because he's already simplified, which is perfect. Maybe this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that one. Alright. We're going to copy the image, we're going to open up its Sai, we're going to make a new canvas, I'm going to call it Baby Link, and I'm going to make the dimensions around 1500 by 2000-ish, so I have like maximum sketch room. That, there we go, paste, and then I'm going to go to move him to the right, so I can keep looking back and forth at the reference and the drawing I'm going to make. So this is on a layer. It's called layer 2. Layer 1 is the background, which Sai already defaults as white. Well, actually, it defaults it as transparent. The tablet I'm using here is a cintiq 24 HD. It's a really awesome tablet. I recommend it if you're going pro, or if you draw most of the time and you need that room. If you're a beginner artist and you don't really draw that much, I recommend getting a intuos 4 medium or small, or going with a bamboo tablet. I recommend that to everybody. Alright, this program I'm using here is Paint Tool Sai. It's an awesome program. So to get started, I'm going to make a new layer. It's called layer 3. And I have my airbrush tool, which is my pen tool. And I love this brush because it just has a very precise and sharp line quality than the pen tool. The pen is actually too sharp. You can see like the little jagged areas hanging around. I don't like that too much, so I like the airbrush tool. And I have that on hard settings. Inside there's different types of settings. You have the hard setting, and then you have the slightly soft hard setting. Then it gets softer. And then finally it gets to like an airbrush quality. Okay? Alright. So we'll delete that layer and make a new one to start the sketch process. Now I use a light blue sketchy thing, for the reason that when I draw the black inks on top of the blue, it won't interfere with the blue color. It won't blend in. The black is going to stick out prominently instead of blending in with the blue lines. Of course, when I do the sketch, I always lower the opacity so it's a lighter blue, so I can have a more clear view of what I'm inking. Alright, now I've said all that. I know it's a lot, it's a mouthful, but now I'm going to show you how to sketch the Baby Link. First and foremost, I always go with a circle. That's it. A circle with a few guidelines in the middle, separating for the facials. Now, it depends entirely how you want the face angle. Like, for instance, I'm going to be drawing them from like a front view, and I'm going to have like the crisscross lines in the middle and across, like evenly. But if you're going for like a different angle, like 3/4, then you'd have something like that. Like the middle line would be pushed over to the left. Or if you're going for something with more of a downward angle, I would do something like this. And the eyes would sit right here. Like that. So typically to make it easier for everybody, especially novice artists, I'm going to do a face front view. Alright. So when I have the guides like that, then here at our reference, we see that the main points we got to emphasize for this baby Link is his hair right here, his hat, and his clothes, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the eyes. So I'm going to lower the opacity on my guidelines so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to start with the eyes. See how I did that? It's pretty simple. A lot of people have trouble drawing baby anime eyes. It's pretty simple like that. I'm going to draw the little light definition line for the lid, and then depending on what kind of style you're going for, you can have different types of eyebrow types. But since we're doing a baby, we want to have a very, very thin line for the eyebrow. Actually, I'm going to edit this eye a little, make it a little more animated. Alright, see how I did that? Now, what's really going to make it look like a chibi is the size of the iris and the pupil. So I'm going to draw a big, big iris. And then the enclosing line for the iris, so you know that it's sitting on something. And then I'm going to draw the pupil. Now, depending on the size of the pupil, it really makes a difference in the eyes. Now, if I went and made a very small pupil, it would obviously look like a demonic baby or eye. And if you put like the little shinies, little highlights in the eyes over there, like that, almost looks like The Exorcist. And that's not what we want. We're trying to make a cute baby Link. So we're gonna go for a big pupil, like that. Okay? Yeah, it's nice. It's pretty gangster, yo. Alright, I'm going to erase some of the iris and draw in some highlights. Now, the more of these little highlight things you have, the more soft and bright the eyes will appear, which essentially makes a cutesy, bright character appearance, and that's what we want. So we're going to do that. Maybe if you're going for a sketchy feel, you can add a little shading to give it some kind of definition. Alright. Pretty cool so far. And then, I'm going to take this and actually shift it down a little bit. I'm going to start drawing the, I want to show you a real cool trick that I do all the time. It's the greatest trick on the planet. It's cheating, but I'm going to copy, make a selection, copy, paste. See how I did that? And I'm going to basically duplicated the other eye over so I don't have to spend a lot of time working on the other eye. A lot of people call this cheating, but you know, gets things done faster. So that's a trick you could use, but this only works for front faces if you're going for more of a symmetrical, perfect symmetrical faces. So now that I got that, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing the mouth. Very light lines for the mouth since the eyes are the main primary focus. I'm going to go for little blushies. Little blushy lines. Use very thin lines for these. You don't want them to be sticking out with thick, thick blushies. Alright? As you can see, the guidelines, they don't really correlate with the facials I just drew. But that doesn't matter. As long as you get the facials drawn nice, that's all that matters. Proportionate and whatnot. Alright, so then I'm going to start drawing the face shape. Alright, so I'm going to go for something that is like bouncy and fluffed. It's actually too fat and weird, so I'm going to go with something like this. simple. Maybe the little elephant ear. Well, actually, yeah, I want to go with the little elephant ear. That. And then the little line that shows the detailing of the ear. Alright. Okay. Looks like we're not going to be using these guidelines anymore. So far, it looks pretty cute. I'm going to go ahead and further lower these eyes. There we go. That's perfect. It's like when you lower the eyes more towards the outline of the face, the cuter and more adorable the character will look, because the eyes are so big and there's like not a lot of headroom. Now, I'm going to make a new layer because I don't like erasing my sketch lines. It's only layer 5, and I'm going to start drawing the hair and the hat and all that crazy cool stuff. Alright, so the hair looks like it comes down, swoops over some of the eye. Add a little bounce to that, like that. When you're drawing, you actually have to feel the lines that you're making, otherwise it'll come out weird looking. Like, you gotta feel that. Kapow! Chow! Chow! Now, we're going to draw the body. So, I'm going to make a new layer again. I'm going to place a guideline there. And just these big circles for placeholders. That's where I'm going to place the legs and whatnot. And have his arms swoop to the side. Just nice and simple with him sitting and whatnot. And then a little belt. Okay? Remember, when you're sketching, just be crazy. Go all out with your lines, you know what I mean? Like, no one's there to judge you with your lines. Tocho. So you got that belt drawn pretty nice, and then I'm gonna go with the little, what do we call that? V-neck shape. Then I want to go with, yeah, it's coming out nice. You're probably like, what the crap is that big leg doing in the way? It looks so weird. Don't worry about it. It'll come along just fine. Draw a little crease and close. Like this. So I'm doing that. I'm just shaping everything on top of it. That leg looks way... Oh man, that leg. Looks like he's doing gymnastics or some crap. Alright. Yeah, let's just fix that leg. It's looking like he's doing an extreme split. So, now that we got the sketch done for Link, let's go ahead and shift our focus towards, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and shift towards the inking. Now, a lot of artists have asked me, you know, Dawn, how do you do such nice lines and stuff? But to be honest, I haven't still mastered line art, and I'm trying real hard to get nice looking line art. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge all the sketch lines that I had on those different layers. And now I'm going to lower the opacity here, like that. Make a new layer, layer 6. Don't worry, it doesn't really matter if you don't organize them unless you're working on a large scale, but later on you can rename the layers to whatever you want. Alright, so now I'm going to go and pick a black color on my little color wheel thing. And then I'm going to start inking. There's two major things with inking that you have to pay attention to. It's the line weight, and it's where you put the line weight, okay? This is what I mean. When I make thick lines, it's there for a reason. It depends on the light source or the type of details you're trying to emphasize. For instance, the thickest lines would have to be the outline of certain features, like the hair and the hat and the face shape and the outline sides of the body. You do not use thick lines of the same line weight to little details like the belt and the shoe definition, things like that, and the little blushy marks. Just don't do that, okay? It's gonna look terrible. Use very thin lines for details, thick lines for the outline, so you know what shapes you're looking at. You're not getting confused by thick lines everywhere, alright? Okay, let's start. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a brush size of 30. Yeah, that's good. Zoom in. Then I'm going to draw a thick line for the hair. That's what I love about drawing big tablets. You can go make the perfect line in just one swoop. I mean, you could do that with just regular tablets, like the intuos and stuff, but it's not like you're looking directly at the screen. I like looking directly at the screen. So, we got the line art all done. Woo! Pat yourself on the back if you followed along. Oops. Alright, so now that you got the line art done, it's time to do, that's right, the coloring. I know you've been waiting for it. If you skipped ahead, then you would have known I said that. Alright, so, get the lines done. Now, you can see what I was talking about with the line weights being different from one another. Like, the outside lines are thick, the inside lines are thin. Just remember that whenever you're inking. Okay. So I'm going to delete the sketch layer since we no longer need it. I'm going to take my magic wand tool right here. Click that little wand thing. And if you just opened up Sai and you don't have settings all set, the default setting will be transparency strict. You want to choose color difference, which is right here. And depending on how much the wand will pick up the color, you move the slider up to pick up a lot of the color, which will pretty much pick up everything. Or the lower you go, the more precise it's going to pick up just that specific color on the canvas. Okay? Probably don't know what I mean, but I'll show you that in a different video, but this is what I mean. See what I mean by that? Look. And if you go higher up, it gets closer to that color. Like, picks every single pixel similar to the color you just selected. Alright. Now what I like to do is I like to make a new layer underneath the line art layer. Make sure you do that. Okay. And now we're going to use our wand tool on a decent setting that would pick up most of the, yeah, see? Because you don't want feedback lines of white space. You want the whole selection full, including a few pixels into the black line, so you get, you know, a full color selection without any bleeding white. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to color pick our reference, pick the regular skin tone, and I'm going to fill all the skin areas. Alright, now here's another awesome trick. I use it all the time on whatever I'm doing. I'm going to preserve opacity. Click that. Preserve opacity. And what that's going to do is you're going to stay coloring within the colors on that layer. You won't go out of the lines. It's the coolest feature ever. So I'm going to pick up the shadow lines from the reference link, and then I'm going to go in and shade. See what I mean? You don't go out of the lines. It preserves whatever's on that layer from coloring any pixels out of the whatever you have on that layer. Okay, so we're gonna shade depending on our light source. The light is coming from the top, so we got that all set. Don't forget the overlap shadows, but details that the hair is overlapping the ear, like that. It's like the further you make the shadow of the overlapping subject, the further the distance that the overlapping subject is going to pop off the character. Alright, so keep that in mind. It's a cool tip, not a trip. I'm not smoking pot over here. Alright, so we got some nice shadow action going. That's right. Okay. So I think we got a nice, decent shadow for the skin tones. Okay, so this is the part most of you have been waiting for, I think. But I'm going to be showing you how to highlight and shade the iris, like the anime shows or the anime artists you see on DeviantArt or Google Images. It's really simple depending on what kind of approach you're going for. There's so many styles, but I want to show you the most basic and easiest style to get you accustomed to, so you know how to, replicate the same techniques, and maybe you can experiment with it. But I'm gonna take my magic wand tool and I'm gonna select the areas. Oops. Then I'm going to fill. I'm gonna get a light blue. First, I'm gonna start with a dark blue, and the reason why I start with a dark color is it's gonna be very easy for me to etch in lighter colors like this. I'll show you. That layer. I'm going to go up in the brightness. And a little more of a contrasting blue so it stands out a bit more. And I'm going to set my little airbrush tool on the softest setting, which is this one right here. And then you see this min size thing? Put that setting all the way up. Or actually, I want to put it to like 80. Because this makes the brush a little immune to your tablet property setting. You know what I mean? Like, see how wide the stroke got? It's not condensed and small like that. It got wider, and if you go 100%, it's like super mega wide. I think a lot of people use this for gradients, because Sai doesn't have a grading tool like Photoshop has. But I want to put that on 80. Then I'm going to use 145 is a good size for a brush. I want to radiate highlights, lightly pressing on my tablet so the color is distributed in different bouts of opacity and lightness. So I want to go up a little bit more. And now I want to change to the hard soft, which is the third one. And then I want to go over and change my brush size. I'm going to go to like 37, I think. No, I'm going to put it 80 again. Yeah, 100. It makes a nice diffused highlight like that. See? It's pretty good. I'm going to get a smaller size brush and up the highlight a little bit more with more of a contrasting blue and put a few indication of iris in there. Maybe add a little bit of highlight to the darker corners. So I'm going to experiment with that a little bit. There you go. It's cute. It's nice. Well, that was pretty simple. It was easy. And your link should come out looking awesome like this. Yeah. Seems about right. I hope you guys enjoy that video. I spent a lot of time talking of tips and tricks on how to color and ink. If you guys want any other different video in the same exact execution as this one, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for other tutorials or art styles that you want me to guide you through, just like this video, leave recommendations in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy that. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. I don't care what you comment as long as it's a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. There's going to be tons of more awesome, cool videos like this, so be on the lookout, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.